Hello traders, it's Mark here from the DayTrading Room. It's a Saturday afternoon around 6:30 London time. At home here on the laptop just reviewing the week's trades and in particular Friday. First things first though, a few of you came into the chat room on Friday and it was a little bit quiet. A lot of people had their heads down and trading and watching the market, and if they weren't trading, they were learning. We had a bit of a chat in the evening or the afternoon, New York time towards the end of the day, but it was generally pretty quiet, and that's just because the volatility was so much. I think everyone literally had their heads down, was either trading or, as I say, just learning and just watching the market action, historic action, basically. So yeah, so if you did come in and it was quiet, then come in again, say have a little chat around. There's plenty of people willing to answer questions and talk trading or whatever. But it does go through spells where it's quiet, and then it goes through spells where we get a lot of chat going on. Normally when the market's a little bit quieter. So let's talk about Friday's trades. What I did, what I got up to, how I traded it, what I did well, what I did badly. And we'll start off with the good news. The good news was a fantastic trade for me. Really, really good trade. Non-farm payrolls. You sort of knew they were going to do this. You must. It was almost on the cards that it was going to be bought somehow and spiked up, and then it was inevitable that the book was so thin. And you just knew they were going to spike it hard one way or the other. It was bound to be some sort of reprice, and the book was just dreadfully thin. It really was. And I was saying to another one of the traders that the S&P was trading like the Dow. It was just all over the place. But anyway, let's talk about a trade. Good reprice up. That was a 200 point move. 250 point from the area here. It was solid. It looked okay. This pullback took several minutes, so I'm still okay with it as a reprice. Now, often I talk about how I like to see that sustained. Yes, I do. In an ideal world, that's what I'd like to see. But 2 or 3 minutes pullback, in other words, not pulling back immediately and aggressively, that's okay. That's fine. I'm happy to go with that. So waiting for the tape support. Support came in. Beautiful entry right on this wick here, and it just within it felt like a short time, but looking at it now, it was over a minute. It just gave 50 points, and it was so quick. It didn't have a chance to scale, so I just took it all off, and it was a fantastic trade. It was a great start to the day. And in actual fact, I should have just called it a day then, or just not messed around. Because what I ended up doing was taking, well, I'll talk through them in a moment. Was just doing the wrong thing at the open, but then trading very well for the rest of the day. But in actual fact, all I did was get back what I lost at the open. But I'm going to talk about that because I like to talk about things I did right, things I did wrong, and all of us, none of us are immune to making mistakes, full of mistakes. But it doesn't matter, that's what trading's about. So anyway, that's the non-farm payroll trade, best trade really for quite a while. So let's go on to the daily. There we go. There was the open. Now I I let my, as it says here, I let my expectation and prediction cloud the trade. Now it's something that I haven't done for a long time, and I think the volatility and the fact that we're down so heavily and the news made me have a bias, too much of a bias on there being a flush and a bounce, or there being an aggressive bounce, and I let that expectation and prediction cloud my reading of the price action, which is quite difficult when the volatility is this aggressive. Tape reading becomes a lot harder, a lot harder. When it's this much volatility, there can be such a thing as too much volatility, and this is probably almost there. Like it a little bit slower because the tape is just frantic, absolutely frantic, huge volume. Very whippy. There's so many just snapbacks, sort of 50 point snaps. It was very aggressive. Anyway, let's talk about what I got up to. I let my expectation prediction cloud the trade. And what I did is I saw this tick strength, saw the strength, saw the drive off the open, bought this pullback. Another thing I did as well, my expectation was that we were going to get an aggressive bounce quite at some point, and obviously we did later in the day, but that's no use to anybody. It's no use to a day trader. And instead of scaling, I increased the scale to sort of 30 points first scale. I was looking for 50, 60, 70, 80 on the last. So this is not enough for me. I bought this pullback here and was wrong and took a stop. And of course, it takes you get stopped pretty quickly. I then went again as the ticks pulled back to zero, and we just dipped under that low. I thought we're off now. It's just a little shakeout, especially that sort of move there lower, and then it came back and stopped me out. So two full size stops, and ended up giving back about a quarter of the gains. So it's just not pleasant giving back a couple of K like that. It's not pleasant. It's especially when it's a mistake that hasn't happened to me for quite a while, and it made me sit back and think. And actually, I ended up missing all this. I mean, I missed all this stuff, which is a shame because if I'd have been, as I am majority of the time, completely neutral to price action. Okay, you've got some hypothesis, you've got some ideas of targets. If you see, target fine up here, target fine, gap fill, that's okay. I'll always do that before the open. I'll always have an idea of how I'm going to trade it, uh, or what level I'm going to hold to. But to actually not look at what the market's telling you and to not read the price action it's a rare mistake for me. But it happened, and I move on from it. It didn't it damaged me, but it's nothing in the scheme of things. Fortunately, the non-farm payroll trade was okay. So yeah, we rolled over and missed the whole thing of that. Missed this pullback here, which was just a gift, and I really hope you guys got on that. It's just perfect, absolutely perfect sort of thing. Pulled back and drove lower, and we chopped back up and then just started to drift down. And actually, what I did in through a lot of this area here was a lot of scalping on the short side. Now it was literally because we were so weak, and the fact that we couldn't hold that, we couldn't retest it. The bounces were very poor. It was more a case of okay, let's scalp some on the short side, selling into the bounces, selling into the tick pops, and I got a lot of that back. Got a lot of that back. Not all of it, but a lot of it back. Reducing size then. Obviously, I demote myself to reduce size from making two full stop outs like that. The very last thing I wanted to do that day was to give back everything. That would just be horrendous for confidence, horrendous for everything. So I just won't let it happen. There's no need to let it happen. Okay, one mistake's fine. That's inevitable. Two, no need, and three, definitely not. So anyway, not much to report here, guys. It just literally pops shorting coming out, pops shorting coming out, small size, just getting feel back for the pace of the market. This is probably the best trade of the day in terms of the regular trading hours for me. Would you believe it? My internet went off between about 15 minutes on this aggressive drive up. Now I had another line. I was looking at the backup and I was watching the ticker and thought, oh, it's absolute manic. So I ran down to reception, got that all sorted out eventually. Came back, and this is just, it has to be taken. This here, we've seen strength so far. Like the last video, I'm not buying the first bit of strength because I want to see what the response is to that. That's the important point. So first bit of strength, taking out some highs. Okay, they sold that. Fine, you'd expect that to happen. Now let's see at this key level what happens. Drive up, holds. Does it take out the low? No. Drives up. This is what I want to see now. High tick, high tick, high tick. These are in the 900s. Definitely up for buying a tick pullback on here, especially as we've broken out here. Pulled up, pulled back to the break point, tick pullback as well, in, and wham, lovely trade. This caught that fine, new high in ticks. It was this candle. I'm pretty sure it was that candle. Yeah, that's the one. That candle there, scaling out as we come up, holding a little bit of it, and just riding that for as much as possible, So, and really just trying to get to the opening print. I'm pretty sure we got to the opening print which was around here. Yeah, I mean, it did run on quite a bit more, but if you're getting it within 50 points, you're doing a good job. And that was it. That was it really for the day. I took a very very small trade here as we were stuck in this range, and we broke down through it. Nice low tick reading. Just wanted to see if there was any buyer step in. And don't forget this old favourite of mine, the 50% retracement of that rally, pretty much bang on. And also another thing, I will just bring that in. Can you see that? Might be out of the view. There we are, 50% retracement of that rally, bang. And final thing was, of course, just dipped under the 11,400. Just want to see what the response is. Quite a bit of support there, so that was okay for a nice little scalp. So yes, made mistakes. No, did not let them go to my head. Yes, just knuckled down, got on with the job, traded away, reduced size because the main thing I wanted to do was I was not in get it back mode. I was in trade well mode. Okay, you've got a cushion, fine. You've given back some, done it, forget about it. You know what your mistake was. You're unlikely to make that mistake again now, so fine, accept it, and then just trade in the correct manner. And all the other trades were great. I can't complain about any of the trades. So that's what I got to report, guys, for Friday. I'm afraid no spectacular 500 point, 400 point, 300 point trades. Some nice trades, but some mistakes. But I like to be. This is blogs about honesty. It's not about anything else but reviewing my own trades, and it's a bit of a personal journal. And people are getting some benefit from it, which is fantastic. So yeah, that's what happened. Non-farm payroll's great. Poor open. Some scalping on that push down, and then just catching a little bit of a bounce up. It's all about waiting for the high probability setup. You can look at this volatility, and the instinct is to go, I should be killing it. But number one, capital preservation. If it's too wild, step back, watch and learn. It will come round again. You don't need to be trading it if it's too crazy for you. Absolutely fine. Secondly, you only need one good trade. If you catch one good trade on a day like today and you make 50 ticks out of it, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Or two good trades. You don't need to be in and out. And it seduces you in with the volatility being so much. You think there's opportunity, but in actual fact, you have to take a step back, look at your charts, look at your 5 minute, look at where we are in the price, look at the ticks. And the day the ticks were just saying at all the point here, stay short, stay short, stay short. And that's what guided me basically. While these ticks were short, I was scalping on the short side. While they were low, should I say, I was scalping on the short side. So let's see what happens on Monday. Obviously, the credit rating downgrade. Who knows what's going to happen on Monday? I'm not going to fall into the trap of predicting. I'm going to have targets from the open. I'm going to look where the market could go, and I'm going to let the price action tell me where it goes. And if I'm on the end of something, I'm going to hold for targets. That's how I'm going to play it. That's how I always play it normally, but I didn't on Friday. Got away with it. May not be so lucky next time, so it's important to learn from the mistakes, move on, and improve and improve and improve. So good trading, guys. I've come back in the chat room on Monday and hang around in there. Sometimes not a lot going on. Sometimes it's quite busy. So hang around and we can all have a chat, talk about the market, talk about trader improvement. We had a lot of chat about that in the afternoon and the evening. So yeah, good trading, guys. Take care. As always, manage your risk. This is so important in a volatile market like this, that you don't let a trade go too far against you. If it's not working, cut it. There are numerous opportunities, so you don't need to be nursing a losing trade, nor do you need to be predicting, nor do you need to be thinking it's going to bounce. Don't even try for the bounce. I was not even trying for the bounce. I knew that if there was a bounce, there would be a great pullback trade, and that's what I waited for. Okay, it was late in the day, but that was the continual high tick pullback, bang, and that was more than enough. There's more than enough in there to take off as a trader and be happy with that. You don't need to be the hero buying the low. It's nothing more than an ego thing. That we're looking for high probability setups to take money out of the market. We're not interested in being right, we're interested in making money. That's what we're about. So good trading, guys. Please manage your risk, take care. As always, send me an email, mark@thedaytradingroom.com. Back in the chat on Monday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.